Alright guys, welcome to Rezo Edge VFX. My name is John Aheri, and so today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is actually how to simulate a newspaper or peppers flying around under the wing, just like what you can see right here. So we're going to do this in Blender. Alright, and you learn how to create a newspaper, and you're going to learn how to equally make it flow in the wind as well, give it some physics. Okay, so quickly let's get to it. All right, so we're here in Blender 4.2.1, and we're going to get started. So first of all, we'll delete the default cube. You press X to delete the default cube, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to import we're going to create a plane for our ground. All right, so basically this is a physics. This is a physics simulation, and this is going to be something where we're going to have interactions with the ground. So press Shift A and go to mesh, go to plane, and click on plane. I like to click on this gizmo to bring out all the transformation and rotation and scale gizmo all together. That's how I like to work. So I'll go ahead and press S to scale, then press the number I want to scale it. Either I draw my mouse to make it large, or I just press the number I want. In this case, I want to scale it up to say 15 sizes. Just type 15 and click once to get out of there. Now this is going to be my plane, so if my peppers fall down, they will be on this plane. I can move it around. So we're going to have three factors. We have our first collision object, which is the ground, and we're going to have our newspapers, and we're going to have a wind that will be blowing the newspapers. Okay, so now time to bring in our newspapers. Now we're going to press Shift and A and go down to image and check mesh plane. All right, mesh plane. If you don't see this in your selection, you can go to edit, go to preferences, and go to add-ons. Now search images, type images. Okay, these are all built-in add-ons already. Okay, if you are using Blender 4.2, the latest versions, it should be in your Blender. Okay, fantastic. So it should be there already. But if you are using an older one, you go to add-ons and you type images. It will show you import images as planes. Okay, then you are going to select check the box to be enabled. So if you click on Shift A, you should see import images as planes. You should see Shift A, go to images, you see images as planes. But I encourage you to use the latest Blender because it's all free. So click on mesh plane. All right, so click on it. Now go down to where you want to see your newspaper, because for this to work you have to download some newspapers online. All right, I'll show you mine. If I come here, you see I have some newspapers here. So I have all of them. So just go and download peppers like this. You don't really need to model anything. That's a good thing about newspapers. You don't need to model them. You just need them download things like this. You can see all mine, right? So I can just click here. This is a shortcut in any way to get something in Blender. If instead of going to look for where it is in your files, you can just go to where your files is, click on one of these, drag it into Blender, and drag it into these folders you're seeing here. Once you let go, it will locate that file automatically in Blender. All right, so that is a shortcut for you. Now I can click on this first newspaper and go to import images as planes, and once I click on it, it comes in. So I can bring it up, I can press S to scale it up a bit, and now it looks like you're seeing nothing, but there's actually something there. How do you see it? You can either go here. If you don't want to go to rendered view, you can click on rendered view and you see it, or you can click on this other view. This is more like a look dev view, like to you can't really render with this, but it shows you the most realistic textures on your stuff. So this is your rendered view and you can see it, or you can just go back to here and click on this and click on texture, and you see what you're doing without actually the whole processing power of rendering. Okay, good. So this is your newspaper. Okay, if you like it, fine. Now something else you need to do is let's import multiple of them. Press Shift A, go to images, go to mesh planes, and let me take in another one. All right, Now the good thing about importing as images as planes is that anyone, look at the dimension of this is different, the dimension of this is different, right? This is more rectangular, this is more, this is more landscape, this is more portrait. Okay, and so if I select this and go to images as planes, you see this comes in with the right dimensions. Okay, if I scale it in, you see is different from this. But if I go ahead and create a plane and put the images on it, I'll have to adjust all these things and UV unwrap it and all that. So this does it for me. So if I press Shift A and go to, don't use reference, go to mesh planes and take this one too, it comes in the same way as well, all in the right proportions. So you see all comes in there. Just press S to scale it up. So keep pressing Shift A, mesh planes, gets another guy in here and gets all of them, and it keeps coming in, just keeps coming in. All right, some are big, some are little. Shift A and all that. Yeah, this I'll work with this. All right, so you bring all this in and yeah, you have your newspapers. You just bring them in different offsets and all that. Okay, so let's do one more mesh planes and let's get this one with the Pope. I hope that's the Pope, probably. Okay, so you can go ahead and do something like this. All right, so let's just work with these newspapers. Now this is what we have. Now the next stage is for us to do a physics simulation, and but for that to work we need to just like in my last physics simulation class on cloth simulation, you need to have some extra geometry. Now if I press tab and go to edit, you see that we only have just 4 vertices here. All right, and just one face. If I press on this, click on this and click on the face, this is only one face, and physics cannot rumple this face. All right, you need more vertices, more faces for it to fold. All right, because even peppers fold when they fall. So what you need to do is, let me show you another trick in Blender. If you press edit mode right now, if you press tab, you can only go to edit mode and edit this. All right, but you want to edit all of them at the same time. So press tab, go out, select everything by holding shift, select and select by holding shift. Now while all of them are selected, if you press tab and go to edit, Blender can allow you to edit all of them at the same time. All right, so if I press W in my keyboard, I go to subdivide and I can come down here, click on the amount of subdivision I want to give it. That's the amount of faces I want it to have. I'll click and drag to the right to increase it to up to 10. Okay, 10 is the maximum you can go, unless you want to now type yours. After 10, you need to just click on it and type maybe 15. But if you don't type, you can't go more than 10 if you are scrolling. Okay, 10 is the maximum you can go here, but if you type more, you can go. So let's work with 10 because 10 is good enough for paper. And we can now press tab and come out of the edit mode. So the next thing is to now let's give it a little misalignment and all that. And you can select all of them, click all of them like this, and go to global, and sorry, not global, go to this thing here and change the cursor to individual origins, so they all rotate by their own individual origins. So if I come here and press rotate, all of them rotate themselves. If you don't change this, if you leave it at medium point where it is, if I rotate, all of them rotates the same axis, right? So I'll change it to origins and individual origins. So if I can do this, it rotates all in different areas. So I want all of them to have like a random rotation. If you want to rotate things randomly, press R twice, RR. Then they all rotate randomly without all that. Okay, so let's just keep them like this, and maybe add some individual random next to it, something like that, so that when they actually are affected by the wind, they all flow randomly like that. All right, something like that. It's fine. So we have some of this randomness to it. All right, so they are random enough, so we'll keep them like this. Now the next thing is to do a physics simulation for one and copy it to all of them. Let's use this brown one as our first simulation. But first of all, this is our plane. We need to go down to physics, click on our plane, go to physics, go to collision, so you can accept them once they fall down. Okay, and so if I click on this guy, what we're going to use is called cloth simulation. All right, because cloth actually folds close as possible to a paper. All right, to papers. So if I click on cloth, leave all the settings the way they are, and I press play, and it drops, right? You see it falls on the floor like that, right? But if this floor was not on collision, it will just go ahead and it will fall through it. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, it's quite crazy. It's actually supposed to go down and okay, I think let me reset this. This is what happens. So when you have problems like that, you see this blue thing, it means that it has already kicked the file. It has actually baked it into place. So whatever you do, even if I delete this flaw, it will still fall and act like there's a flaw there. So it's not a bug. You need to go ahead and reset your cache. All right, so let the blue file go out. So now you can go through. So once that blue file is not there, that blue line is not there, it will go through. So let me click on this and apply collision. If I click on this, it doesn't go through anymore. Okay, so that's it. Now right now, what we're going to do is, you can see it's falling, and it's falling like it has a good stuff to it, right? But some people might argue that, hey, this is more like what do you call it? It's more like fabric than paper, right? So that comes into how many subdivisions you give it. Okay, so that's why in that case, if we want it to become more like paper, we have to go to click all of them and decrease the subdivision what we've given it before. How do we do that? You can press Control E to go to unsubdivide. Click on it once. It can mess up your geometry. Okay, so you can go make this, and it really can mess up your geometry, so you don't want to do that. So what you need to do is let's press Shift Z. So instead of doing that, you can go ahead and come in here and select this and go to modifier, go to generate, go to decimate. All right, this is decimate, and you can come in here from unsubdivide, just make it collapse it to this is how many faces it has. So you can collapse it. The more you're reducing it, the more the faces will be reducing. So maybe make it like 0.5 for it, 0.5. So when we go ahead and apply the physics here for the cloth for this, and we run it, you see it actually rumples more like paper, right? You see, yeah. So now since we have done that, we have collapsed it to 0.5, we can just click on this. Okay, you know what, let's delete the cloth for this. Click on this, go back to physics, go to X, this X, delete it, so it doesn't have any other collision, doesn't have any physics on it. Let's work with this. All right, so once you go ahead and do that, and you're happy with this, now it's folding and it's having all this hard thing on it, just press E. Press okay, not E, you can just go ahead and press objects. I don't want to show you the shortcuts because I have my shortcuts set differently. So go to objects, go to shade smooth, and click on shade smooth. It smoothes it out. Okay, and it still falls like paper, right? Good. So what you need to do, since you have your simulation right here, so click on this and hold shift and select all these other ones. Select all this, then select this again, and go ahead and press Control and L on your keyboard, then go to copy modifiers. All right, to copy the whole physics to the rest of it. Okay, so when I select all this, you see all of them has the same cloth physics enabled now. All right, so if I press play, they'll all fall down, and they all have they all copied the same collapse modifier as well. But aside from this guy, I don't think I selected this guy. Okay, select this guy as your active. You must select the one that is light yellow as your active, the one you want them to copy it from. Okay, so this one I want to copy. This guy doesn't have any physics, but this guy has physics. I have to hold shift and select him, then go to Control L and copy modifiers, and that is it, and they all fall down. So in that case everything goes all fine and dandy, and they are all copied. Look, they all copied the decimate modifier as well, so everything is good. The only thing is just that I don't know if they all copied no, they didn't copy the shade smooth. You can see this, so you have to select all of them, put together, and go to press object and go to shade smooth. All of them get shaded smooth. So that's how you get your simulations done for the peppers. All right, so now let's go ahead and add wind. Okay, so what we'll go ahead, we'll press Shift and A and go to force field and go to wind. Click on wind. This is your wind. Right now it's pointing up. We need to position it how we want it to point. So we want the wind to blow from this direction, from here to here. All right, this is how I want the wind to blow. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make the wind blow towards that direction. I will come here, click on this and rotate it towards here. Yeah, rotate it just how you want it. All right, then go ahead and increase, click on the physics here, go ahead and increase the strength to about 1000. All right, you can see the direction where it's going to now. So we'll go ahead and play it. You see it blows up everything so much because it's a strong wind. It's 1000. So we'll go ahead and do, say, 500, so don't go crazy with the wind, you know what I mean. So 500, it blows it, whoa, like that. And let's do 250 because I mean this is wind, man. So yeah, so it's blowing a little bit more like wind. Okay, now we want it to blow a little bit up, so let them fly up a little bit. And yeah, so take it a little bit up again. You can press Ctrl and A to apply rotation. Oh, sorry, do not apply rotation, just leave it, don't do that. So what we'll press it again, the wind blows a little bit more up, right? It takes like that and it goes up. Now if we want this to have more turbulence to it, so what we'll do is we'll press Shift A and we'll go to force field. We'll go ahead and add what? Turbulence. Turbulence is like more disturbance. All right, they'll have more disturbance. So go here, increase the strength of the turbulence to like 15. All right, so they'll go ahead and I will reduce the strength of the wind, so let them not run away too much. Let's make it 150. And when we play, you see it actually has a lot of wiggles on it and all, right? So we can increase the turbulence to, say, maybe 35, and the wind to maybe 100, just 100. All right, not so much wind, and make it like this. So we let it go. We see it's actually there. It's there. It's blowing it around. Okay, and we can take the wind a little bit more back, and we'll do that. We can increase the wind again to maybe 150. Now add some noise to the wind. Okay, add some force noise, so it blows with some irregularities and some noise, and you see all that, right? Now you can do like, let's do 200 for the wind. Okay, 200. And turbulence, can increase turbulence to maybe 100, right? 100 is fine. And I will play it, so you see what I mean. So your wind is actually blowing things the right way. You can decrease the size of the wind if you want, and increase the noise to be up to 8. And the turbulence, click on the turbulence. This is the turbulence, in case you don't see it, is turbulence. And increase it to like 150, the size to about 0.2, and yeah, the flow a little bit like 0.2 again. And while we play it, we'll see what happens. So there's a lot of, you see the wiggles there and there and there, it keeps going and all that. All right, so if you want this, now let's look at the peppers ourselves. If you come in here, you see how it reacts, right? Now the damping, you don't want it to go all out and all that, so let's take it up a little bit. Click all of them, hold Shift and select all of them, take them up, and now if we play, they'll all drop down and fly around and all that, right? We want them to go a little slower in the wind. So what we'll do is we can go ahead and change the stiffness, compression, shear, and bending, right? So the stiffness, well, we can leave this, but the damping, we can increase the damping to like 10 for that one. So what we are okay with it, you can apply it to the rest. Let's play and see. So you see, increase the damping to 10. The compression to about 7, and the bending to just 1. Just 0.5 can do 1, and you see what I mean. So you can do that to add different fillings to your paper. Otherwise, you can just leave the bending back to 0.5 and leave this to 5, right? Now, if you want to know how the air actually affects it, see, the air viscosity is affected by this. So if I go ahead and make this 2, what you notice is that it falls down a little bit more slowly. If I make this 5, you see it falls down a little bit more slowly. So if you feel like it's still falling so much, I want to reduce it, and all that, so affect the air viscosity. So let's say we want all this to be like 5. All right, so the air doesn't throw it down that much. It spends more time in the air, just like you saw in the video, the opening video. Click on this, and finally back to this, and press Ctrl L and copy modifiers. All right, now all of them now has the same modifier, all copied to it. Okay, come here. So they all copied the same 0.5 to all of them. All right, the 5 viscosity. So once I play it, they don't all fall down like that, to take their time to drop, and they don't go down so quickly. Now you're noticing that there's an intersection here, right? If you don't want that to happen, if you want to stop these details from happening, all you need to do is you come into go back to physics, go up, click on collision, so that when this guy sees this guy, they see themselves as different colliding objects, and when it collides, to respect the boundaries of this guy. All right, so click on collision for this, and the same thing, apply it. Hold shift, select all of them, and press Ctrl L to copy modifiers. All right, wait, didn't I select this guy? Oh, sorry, select the first one that you applied the collision to. It has to be it. Okay, so Ctrl L, copy modifiers, right? They all reset back. So let's reset it from the beginning and play it again. So anybody that collides into anybody would respect their collisions, and it wouldn't go through, right? See, they don't go through each other anymore. So that is how you do your newspapers floating around. And if you want, you can now increase the wind direction. This is going to be like, let's make it like 400, and I'll just bend it a little bit towards here. Let's see. So the wind blows it a little bit, so you see it's going towards one direction but going a little bit more slowly. So guys, this is how you do a newspaper wind blowing thingy, and plus the turbulence makes it more, that's what gives it the whole flabbly disturbance. All right, that is the turbulence. If I put off the turbulence, you don't get the disturbance. If I make it 0, you don't get those crazy disturbance. All right, it flaps, but not that much. So if I go ahead and make it, let's say 300, we get turbulence, more turbulence. Okay, so guys, that's it for our tutorial today. If you like the tutorial, you can like and subscribe, and you can always come back to the channel. We're going to be releasing more tutorials based on the previous work I've actually done. I'm going to be guiding you guys on how to do the same thing and everything you need to know in VFX. We'll be working more of Blender and compositing and After Effects in some of the tutorials. All right, take care of yourself, and always come back, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Have a lovely day, guys.